We were talking about Moses, how they came out of Egypt. When they were getting ready and they had the Passover, there was very specific instructions how to prepare the lamb and sacrifice the lamb, what you needed to do, and how the blood was to go over the doorpost, and how they were to eat the lamb. I heard someone say last week, I think she just misspoke. Maybe she hadn't really thought about it, or maybe she was just talking off the cuff. I do that a lot, and then later go, whoa, where the heck did that come from? She said when Jesus was doing the Last Supper, that had to be absolutely crazy for the people who were there. Because he was saying, eat, this is my body, drink, this is my blood. That would have been insane out of nowhere, right? But actually that's not true, because they were there to celebrate the Passover meal. They were commemorating Moses, a type of savior, bringing the Hebrew children out of their bondage through the Red Sea and into the Promised Land. There was these very specific instructions for what to do with the lamb. It says in the Bible that the Egyptians despised sheep herders and sheep. So the Hebrews didn't have giant flocks of sheep. Every house would have one or two. And for the most part, they had to keep them really close to the house or in the house. If you had a lamb in your house, you knew that lamb. You were there when it was born. You raised that lamb. You fed that lamb. You took care of that lamb. And now you were being asked to sacrifice this member of your family in exchange for freedom, coming out of bondage. There was a relationship there. They knew it. Skip forward to the Last Supper. There was a relationship there. They knew it. They understood that they were celebrating the Passover Seder. Seder is the meal where they have the lamb and they do the thing with the blood. They understood why they were there. So when Jesus was saying, eat, this is my body that is broken for you, I am the bread of life. When Jesus is saying these things to them, they knew what he was saying. They may not have understood the eternal ramifications of it, but they understood that they were there to consume a lamb that would be a sacrifice that would allow them to live and not die, whose blood would be a covering over the doorpost to keep the death angel from taking them, their firstborn. They understood what was happening. The disciples understood it. The children of Israel may not have gotten it at the time, but they know that they had been commanded to do that. Then what was the next thing they did? They were driven out of Egypt, and they were given gifts that were showered onto them by the Egyptians just to get them to go the hell away. They were giving them gold. They were just pouring out stuff. And this gold was just giving them gold, jewels. Here, take it, just get out. And they did. And where did they go next? They went out to the wilderness, which is what Moses, their type of savior, their version of a savior. Moses had said, yeah, we're going to go do this, and we're going to go meet with God in the desert. And at the very beginning, when he first started talking to Pharaoh and saying, let my people go, he was saying, we're going to go out in the desert and worship on our own for a bit. Cool? And Pharaoh said, no, not cool. And we all know the story of the plagues and all that kind of stuff. But we're talking about the last plague, the plague where the death angel went over and all the firstborn died. So they go out in the desert and they get to the Red Sea, the Sea of Reeds. Call it whatever you want, because there's different translations that mean different things. They got right up against this sea. Pharaoh had changed his mind and sent out his best chariots, was going to bring them back or kill them. That was it. They were going to be drugged back into bondage, or they were going to die right where they were at. Through faith, the Red Sea was parted. It said Moses parted the Red Sea. Moses didn't part anything. God parted the Red Sea and allowed Moses to be used through it as the savior of that people, as the model of the savior of that people. That was that nation being baptized into a new type of person, into a new nation, into a new covenant. There was the blood sacrifice and the shedding of blood for this covenant that created a new people, the lamb, the blood, the baptism. They come through. Now they're baptized into the world as a new nation. They're baptized as a new people, a new type of people. Moses keeps telling him, God says we're going to go out in the desert, we're going to meet with God, and then we're going to enter into this promised land. So they get out there. Right as they get to the edge of the water, Pharaoh, all of his armies are coming up, and they are going to either drag them back into bondage or kill them where they stand. That's a form of demon attack. When you make a decision for Christ, when you make a decision, make Jesus your Savior, every demon in the vicinity is going to rush over and try to drag you back into bondage or kill you. And when you get on the other side of that baptism, life doesn't get any better, but they have no power over you anymore. Except one little tiny thing that they still have power over. If you have a shadow of doubt in your mind as to your justification, as to the fact that you're going through sanctification, as to the fact that Jesus is now Lord, which Lord, by the way, means owner. The word Lord means owner. When you have a landlord that is the owner of the land, and you are entering into a contract with them for your ability to be in that land. The word Lord means owner. Get on the other side of that baptism. You'll still have doubts. Those thoughts can still kind of bother you. It's just thoughts. And you know what gets those thoughts to go away? Because they're your thoughts. Something else may be pushing you to have those thoughts, but you still have control over this new territory. You have control over your mind. What gets that to go away is seeing the face of God and then letting those demons be burned away by God. No one can see the face of God and live. Let it burn it away. You don't need it. They're not yours. If you now are on that other side of baptism and you are living a victorious life because you have control over your mind and you can yield that control back over to your rightful owner, which is God,